All right, everyone. Well, welcome to tonight's Zoom. We are so excited to be sharing with you guys. My name is Casey Elmore, and I'm just beyond blessed and excited for what we have to share tonight. We have brought together some of the best minds that have some amazing recipes, and we really want to teach you guys what it looks like to shred, and meal. I am a wife, I am a mother, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a board certified holistic health coach with the Nourishment Company. And tonight I also am co-hosting with my girlfriend, Jamie Kunze.
Hey guys, so similar to Casey, I am a wife, I'm a mama of 3, and my background's occupational therapy, a little bit in the holistic side of things, because I also have my massage therapy license as well, but now I really just enjoy getting massages and not so much doing them. So tonight, really how this came about is because I am a mama who likes feeding my family clean and myself. I'm not that kind of mom, though, who's like, if Jaren says what's for dinner, that I just can whip something up. Like, I like to have ideas of recipes from other people who I really respect and who I know what they're doing when it comes to food. And so I reached out to Casey, and we created what we've got tonight. So we're excited to share some of these people who we get to partner with on a daily basis in what we do, but who are really well known for being, chefs or foodies, and you're going to get to learn a little bit more about them. So what to expect tonight, these ladies are going to share with you guys 2 recipes each, and they are dinners, but obviously you could use them for lunch or whenever you want. A couple things about them. They're just kind of go through what the recipe is, like why they chose it, but then they're also going to share with you guys maybe some prep tips they might use, or some tools and utensils in their kitchens that might help you to make it easier, or ingredients that are just going to make it a little bit cleaner for you and your family. And they're all shred friendly for those of you who are shredding, and if you don't know what that is, we'll tell you a little bit more about that. So I'm going to jump right in, and I am going to introduce Miss Stephanie. And Stephanie is, where are we at? Okay, so Steph is a mama of 3 beautiful little kiddos, and they're little, and she's a wife, of course. She has a bachelor's of science in nursing. She's a certified lactation education and counseling from the University of California, San Diego. She currently works as a cardiac cath nurse, or cardiac cath lab nurse. And a fun fact about Steph is that she's been pregnant, breastfeeding her both for almost 6 years. So without further ado, Steph, I look forward to what you have to share with us tonight.
Hey, can everyone hear me? Awesome. All right. So tonight I'm going to be showing you just a couple of my favorite kitchen gadgets. I have 1,000, and they're all essential because I live in the kitchen. It's like my happy place. And they all come from my mother because she is just like the queen of kitchen gear. And I'm also going to be sharing 2 recipes that are always family favorites. And one of them's like a really kid-friendly recipe, and then one I won my husband over with this recipe, and they're shred-friendly. So I'm going to be talking about turkey and spinach taquitos and maple bacon pecan crusted salmon. So I love greens, and I eat greens, drink them, any shape or form, like several times a day. But my kids and my husband, it's a little trickier, so I kind of just like sneak them in anywhere that I can. So as far as my taquitos, I mean, it's basically the same thing, you would do to make like tacos, taquitos. I use ground turkey and just brown my turkey, and then add in like some peppers and onions. And these recipes I have posted on my blog, so I'll be posting a link to that on the Facebook event page. So all of the details will be on there. I'm just kind of running through it really quickly here. So you brown your meat, add onions, peppers, whatever you want to throw in there, and then I make my own taco seasoning. To the store-bought stuff is really gross. I'm actually doing a post on that Tuesday for Taco Tuesday. There's like silicone dioxide in the store-bought stuff, and that's like the little packs that you find in your shoes, that silicone gel. So that's gross. So yeah, I make my own. And then at the very end, when my meat mixture is simmering, I add spinach in and let it like sit for another couple minutes. It all reduces down, and you can't like the greens in there. So that's perfect for my kids and husband. I throw a little bit of Daiya cheese in there. And if you guys aren't familiar with Daiya cheese, so they have a line here, and it is dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, so very shred-friendly. It's an awesome company. You can go to their website. Anyway, and then you can use gluten-free tortillas. I find at Schnucks, roll up your meat mixture into your tortillas, and that's where my air fryer comes in. One of my favorite gadgets here. It looks like a big blue egg. So it's like an oilless convection fryer, and there's no mess. Just pull this back out, and you can put whatever in there. You can make your own fries, whatever. I put my taquitos in there, and then spray them with my olive oil sprayer, also an essential. So the canned spray, non-stick spray, also disgusting. So there's really just bad stuff in there. I'll do another post on that. But yeah, there's a link to this olive oil sprayer in my blog post on how to buy that. And then for my taquitos, I always serve with like homemade guac and salsa and all that good stuff and Mexican rice. And the kids and my husband just eat it up, and they're getting their greens. So that's an awesome kid-friendly, shred-friendly recipe. And then as far as the salmon, if you've never cooked salmon before, it's super easy. The maple bacon glaze is optional because for the shred, if you're trying to watch calories, you wouldn't do that. But my husband, that's really like for him because I say salmon and he's like, what? And then I say bacon, he's like, all right, cool. So in my post, it goes there. I substitute ground flaxseed for breadcrumbs when I'm breading anything. So I just combine some chopped pecans, parsley, and ground flax, put a little salt and pepper on my salmon blaze, kind of pour that mixture over top to bread them, and then fry them in a little bit of olive oil in the skillet, stick them in the oven at 400 for a few minutes, and pull them out. And then if you make the maple bacon glaze, my husband butchers our own hogs. So I'm really comfortable with what they're fed and where they come from. So I'm cool with a little bacon every now and then. And then I just chop my bacon up, fry it in the pan, mix in a little pure maple syrup, let it sit for a couple minutes, and pour it over the salmon, and it is delicious. And then that has kind of like opened his door to now he's wanting to like smoke salmon and eat it without the maple bacon. So yeah, if you want to win your husband over, just put bacon on something healthy, and he might end up liking it. So I will post these links afterwards, and thank you so much for letting me share.
Yay! And Case, before you jump in, something I forgot to share with you guys is that each of these ladies are going to share after this event is over in a Facebook event. So we have a Facebook event that's already set up. And so whoever invited you on tonight, if you're not already in there, please ask them to put you in there. And then you will have access to all the recipes that we shared tonight. So, and if you guys are watching this on a playback, thank you so much for doing that as well. We're excited to have you because I have a feeling this is going to go really viral. All right, Miss Casey.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie. Good point. And for those of you that aren't taking notes, I know I'm over here like scribbling notes. And I think that's really key because after this Zoom is done, if you guys have any questions, you can go back to those recipes and post in the comments and ask some of those questions so that you can get them answered. But thanks, Stephanie, for sharing. Oh my gosh, I want an air fryer so bad. I've been talking about it for probably a year now. So I think now's the time. But all right, so we're going to move on. And I am so blessed and thankful to get to introduce the wonderful Miss Penny Shack. A little bit about her. So Penny is pregnant right now. Her first child is due in December. And she has a lot of awesome things from her background. She has a background in musical theater. She has a culinary degree from La Cordon Bleu in Paris, France. She has a master's in gastronomy, which I don't even know what that is. So you might need to share that. And she is the CEO of Change Lives. And a little fun fact about her, she has 15 pairs of sunglasses because she likes to match them with her eyes.
Regular glasses.
Oh, regular glasses. Okay, I guess that makes sense. You do wear glasses, so regular glasses. All right, girl, we'll share away.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this call. I'm super excited. So yeah, a master's in gastronomy, and I always have to say gastronomy versus astronomy is the art of eating, basically. So when I went to school, I just got to eat and drink a lot. So that was a lot of fun. So yes, thank you, Casey, for the great introduction. And as you said, I do have a background, a culinary background, and a musical theater one, even though I'm a little nervous right now. So I might break out in a song and dance because that makes me feel better. But my culinary background, just a really quick snippet is when I came home from culinary school, I developed all these allergies. So I started my own business called Penny's Pastries, where I focus on people with allergies and customize everything. So people contact me and say, I'm allergic to this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient. I love chocolate. I hate lemon. What can you make for me? And with my brilliant mind, I concoct things. So when I post on Facebook, I will tag my Penny's Pastries Facebook page, as well as I started a new endeavor called Chef Penny Shack, where you can find a ton more recipes that are shred friendly on my Facebook page. And you can see, they're like those little 30-second videos that you see the recipe and it goes by really quick, but it's really easy to make. So that brings me to, as I see my phone, people are liking page Chef Penny Shack. Keep it up, guys. This brings me to what I like to do is although I've got a background in cooking, for me, what I find is throw things together is the easiest way. And that's what I find talking to people is they're like, well, I don't know how to cook. I don't know what to do. So the two recipes that I'm going to share today is the first one is the garbage stir fry. And I call it garbage stir fry because how many of you go to the grocery store, you buy tons of vegetables and you're almost at the end of the week and you know all of your vegetables are going to go bad and you don't want to throw them out. So that, to me, that's my garbage stir fry. So it's really easy. I like to make mine with shrimp. And the reason I like to make mine with shrimp is because I always have a bag of frozen shrimp in the freezer. Every time I go to the grocery store, if I've run out, I always buy another one because it's the one food that I feel is healthy for me, and it's always going to stay frozen, and I can take out as much as I need at that time. So I constantly have frozen shrimp in the house. However, this can be made with beef or chicken or tofu, or just leave out, the protein itself. So it's totally up to you. You can use olive oil, or sometimes I like to use sesame oil just for a change. Salt and pepper, garlic. You can either chop your own garlic, or they make pre-chopped garlic that's already in water. Make sure you buy the one in water, not the one sitting and soaking in olive oil. And then my favorite kitchen tool, which I have right here in my bedroom, is my wok. They're really inexpensive to buy I feel like every town has a Chinatown, but maybe I'm wrong. But I got mine in Chinatown. And you can't really see it, but up close it looks kind of gross, but it just, because it's actually seasoned. So, and a seasoned wok means you've just used it so many times. You actually don't clean a wok because you don't want everything being removed from it. So you just kind of wipe it down, but it really incorporates all the flavors. And I love using it for this. However, you can just use a regular frying pan. So you start with your oil, you throw in your garlic, let it sizzle a little bit. Then you put all of your leftover veggies in, whatever. I mean, I'll use zucchini and eggplant and onions and spinach and mushrooms. And I mean, anything you have in the house, that's the beauty of it. And if you only have one thing, just use that one thing. And then towards the end of the vegetables cooking, that's when I throw in the shrimp. And shrimp heat up really quickly. So this meal could be made in like max 15 minutes. And it's really colorful too. And just season with a little bit of salt and pepper, and voila, you're done. So that was my first recipe. And then my second recipe is a build your own tacos. And I love build your own tacos because it's like my lazy man's dinner, when I can just make everything and I'll say to my husband, okay, Adam, you make your own. I don't want to make them for you. So I usually start with like a firmer fish. I like mahi-mahi, but you can choose whatever fish that you like. Same thing, olive oil, cook your fish. And then I use corn tortillas. You can make guacamole. However, I find, like I said, I'm lazy sometimes, so I just cut up the avocado. And then I like crunch. I'm a textured person, so I like the softness of the guacamole, and adding some salsa, but I also like something crunchy. So I make my own cabbage or slaw. So I either get already cut up cabbage or chop my own cabbage. And I use something called Just Mayo, which I will also post in the Facebook group of the product. It literally is the cleanest mayo that you can buy. They have it in different flavors too. And then I'm a hot person. Like the hotter the better. I want my mouth to like go on fire. So I will put some hot sauce in my cabbage mix. But literally that's all that there is. There's the cabbage, the mayo, the hot sauce, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And that gives it the crunch. I also have some lime, cilantro on hand. And then, like Stephanie mentioned, the Daiya cheese, which I also have pictures of, which I'll be posting. I swear by it. I also make tortilla or quesadillas with it. It's my go-to when I have a cheese craving and I am not eating dairy. So I love it for the shred. And then, like I said, I'm really a spicy person. So I always have jalapenos on hand, whether they're already pickled or fresh. And then have at it, build your own tacos. I'm very much into weighing and measuring everything. So I will put them in little bowls, and they're already almost like pre-served. So when my husband and I go to make our own tacos, he's got just enough ingredients for like his 6-ounce portion with his 4th cup of avocado, half a cup of slaw. So it's already like pre-measured, and I don't feel like I'm overeating too much. So those are my 2 recipes that are really quick and easy, and hope you all follow me, and thanks again for having me.
I love it. Like, I'm already needing an air fryer, and now I need a walk from Chinatown. And let's see what's next. So next, we're going to introduce you guys to Miss Melissa Cheney. Melissa is also a wife and a mom of 2 kiddos. She has a bachelor's of science in health communication from the University of California, Davis. She is a CrossFit level 1 certified instructor, as well as just a personal trainer and a wellness coach. And she owns her own CrossFit box. And I actually started following Melissa several years ago because she has a blog called Deliciously Fit. And so we're excited, Miss Melissa, for you to join us from the West Coast. Are you there?
There we go. Can you hear me now? Is everyone? Okay. Sorry, my connection's a little bit off. But anyways, I'm excited to be a part of this tonight. And I have 2 recipes that I'm going to be sharing with you all. And one of them is from my blog, Deliciously Fit. It's called Chicken Ratatouille in the Instant Pot. And favorite appliance, it's actually my new favorite appliance. And I wrote a post about this actually on my blog recently. I used to be a big slow cooker, crock pot fan. 90% of my meals were made by crock pot. Mom of 2, all of our extracurricular activities. And, by the end of the day, you're like, it's hard to scramble to cook something. So I just depended on my crock pot a lot. So I recently discovered the electric pressure cooker, which I have. And I'm in my bedroom, because I have my family over and they're having a dinner party. And so it's kind of funny that I have my Instant Pot in my bedroom. But so I'll show you this. So this is like my all-time favorite kitchen appliance. You can cook frozen chicken in 25 minutes or less, and it is tender, like fall off the bone, juicy chicken, and awesome. So the first recipe, I use that, and then the second recipe I'm going to share is the slow cooker Asian short rib stew, and it's actually from Real Simple, one of my all-time favorite magazines that I love. And that we'll go through that. So just being a busy mom of 2, like I said, one of the things as a tip that I use is every weekend, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, depending on what we have going on, is I make a meal plan. Like I can whip up something on the spot and look in my fridge and go, okay, what do I have if I have to? But for me, between soccer and karate and piano and gymnastics, it's just like I have to have a plan. Otherwise, I'll just be totally frazzled. So on Sunday, I'll make a meal plan for the week, and then from there, build my grocery list from there, so I know exactly what I need for the week. So I don't overbuy, and I buy exactly what I need for that week for dinners, lunches, etc. And I actually save money doing that because you're only buying what you need. And then I don't have to run to the store because honestly, like I hate running to the store in the middle of the week to like get something. If I forget something, I always tell my husband, I'm like, can you pick up the eggs or something? Because I don't want to deal with it with kids. So that's just kind of a tip that I always do. You save money. It's healthier because you're not having to, go out and be like, oh, shoot, I don't have dinner. Let's go pick up, food. And where I live in a town of 2,000 people. We only have 2 places to eat, a little Mexican taqueria and a pizza parlor. And that's it. You have to drive 35 minutes to go to anything decent. So it's really not ideal, like to get takeout. We don't really have takeout. So with that being said, the first recipe in the Instant Pot, it's pretty much you dump everything in and you let it rip. And I am a big proponent of one-pot meals. And if you'll see that in my blog. Most of my meals that I post are one-pot meals. You can dump your protein, your veggies in there and let it cook. And you don't have, your grains cooking over here and having a salad over there. Like to me, if I can minimize that process and put it all together in one is a win-win in my book. So for the chicken ratatouille, you put your frozen chicken at the bottom of your pressure cooker. You dump all of your vegetables in, add your pasta sauce, close the lid, set it on manual for 25 minutes. And it's done. And the nice thing with the Instant Pot, just like a slow cooker, it'll stay warm for up to 18 hours. So I have done that like at 10 a.m. in the morning because I know I'm not going to be home until night. And it just sits there and it's completely warm, ready to go. The chicken's shredded, you mix it up. You could boil your noodles and then just pour it over your noodles and you're good to go. So just for pasta sauce, I use a local brand. It's actually from a local farmer, a family friend of ours. It's really fresh. So I'm Italian and I usually make my own pasta sauce. When I get lazy and I don't have time to make it, I buy this stuff. And one of the things that I'm pretty critical with pasta sauce is that a lot of them put sugar in them. And I can't stand when you have sugar in pasta sauce. Like when I make pasta sauce, I use carrots for the sweetener. And this sauce doesn't have sugar. And so I use that. And I don't know if you can find it anywhere, but there is a link. They have a website. I'll put that on the Facebook invite. And then the noodles, shred approved. We've always stayed away from gluten. I use Trader Joe's, the brown rice quinoa noodles. We love them. My daughter loves these. And it's kind of funny. You can't even really tell a difference. I grew up in a big pasta family being Italian. And my mom and my dad love these, and my mom's Italian who makes her own pasta. So I can share this too. So that's it. Poured over noodles, your meal is done. And we actually had it for dinner, or they're eating it right now tonight. Otherwise, I would totally bring it into my bedroom, but it just seems kind of weird to bring in a bowl of ratatouille in my bedroom.
That's awesome.
So my next recipe, the slow cooker Asian short rib stew. Again, it's another dump it all in and let it rip. So you put your meat in, which mix it with your sauce, put it at the bottom of your slow cooker, add your vegetables, and then let it cook 4 to 5 hours on high or 7 to 8 hours on low. I'm usually one that's scrambling because I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 4 hours. I put it on high, but it still cooks just the same. Very soft, tender meat. And the only thing the recipe calls for bok choy. So that's the only thing that you add in, the bok choy. And then if you, at the end, like the last 5 minutes just to soften it, because if you put that at the beginning, the bok choy will disintegrate, which I learned the hard way. I dumped everything in the first time and I was like, where did my bok choy go? So you let that cook. And then when you're done, you can put scallions to sprinkle on top as a garnish. And then we pour that over brown rice. And I also get that from Trader Joe's. We love brown jasmine rice, and I buy this at Trader Joe's, and you can probably buy it in bulk, I'm sure, at Safeway. We just have a local grocery store that they don't carry brown jasmine rice. And then your meal is completely done with that. And both of these recipes are family favorites. My son loves the Asian short rib stew. He asks me to make that once a week and then put leftovers in his lunch. So I make him like a little bowl. And then my daughter loves the ratatouille. That's like her favorite dish. But so I will post the links to both of those in the Facebook invite, and I'll put a link to the Instant Pot too. I got it on Amazon, and a link to the sauce as well. And then in my blog, I have tons of slow cooker recipes. Like I said, a lot of my recipes are one pot meals, and I do have a couple Instant Pot recipes and as I'm experimenting with it, I'll have more on my blog as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. I so appreciate it. And I just took a quick cue from you. I ran to my pantry and I looked, and there's sugar in my pasta sauce. I'm so mad. I had no idea. And I've been following this brand for such a long time. So now I'm like, really? So I appreciate you sharing and just educating. I continue to learn. I love it. So thanks so much. So I am going to share a little bit more with you guys tonight. I have a couple recipes that I want to share. So again, my name is Casey Elmore, and I am a wife. I am a mom of two very young ones. And because I'm a mom and a wife, and although I am a health coach, we are an extremely busy family. And so because of that, my husband and I, we've had to find a system that works for us to continuously be putting healthy meals. And my mom always yells at me because we are one of those families that we will eat out a lot if we don't have things prepped and prepared. And so we have a system that really works for us. And to be honest, we're not perfect, but when it is done seamlessly. So I have two recipes I want to share with you guys that really the big thing that we focus on is keeping certain items stocked in our pantry and in our refrigerator at all times, so that we can food prep ahead of time and have just leftovers throughout the week. So my first recipe actually is a sweet potato chili. And I have a perfect example of, we cooked this, what's today? Oh my gosh, Sunday. So I cooked this on Friday. And so I have leftovers. I'll be able to have it for lunch tomorrow. I'm super excited. And so this sweet potato chili is so simple. There's just a few ingredients we use. A couple things that we consistently keep on hand are all in this dish, and that's why I love it so much. So sweet potatoes we keep on hand. Organic vegetable broth. And this is important, guys, because 5 years ago when I started my health journey, first and foremost, this brand right here, the Engine 2 diet. My family and I, we are very plant strong. We eat 80% about plant-based. We don't do a very much meat. And this brand and their website, Engine 2, guys, if you are looking to go on a plant strong journey, they have an amazing 30-day plan that you can get. You can get their book, but they now sell their things in store. And so they have an organic vegetable stock. It's low sodium. We love it. We keep it on hand all the time. You can get it at Whole Foods. If you don't have a Whole Foods close by, you can just buy an organic vegetable stock. We also like to get Trader Joe's as well because they're great, cost effective. We also do, the chili also has organic black beans. And so one thing I want to share real quick about black beans. So we like to keep ours dry on hand. And there's a lot of reasons why, but the biggest ones that, one, most canned black beans have they're high in sodium. You want to always buy organic, but most canned black beans are high in sodium. And then the other thing about black beans is that when you soak them, so when we use our dry black beans and we soak them, it actually helps break down the black bean for better absorption of the nutrients and also for better digestion. So for any of you that have any issues eating black beans, try actually soaking dry beans, and honestly it makes a huge difference in aiding in digestion, and there's so much good nutrition in black beans, so I highly suggest going this route. We also keep organic fire roasted tomatoes on hand. This literally can change a dish in a second, and so we use these all the time. We use them in our chili on a consistent basis. And then the other things that are in are just two more things that are in my chili are garlic, and we keep salt and pepper on hand at all times. So it's so simple. Literally, we dice up the sweet potatoes. We put them in a whole container of the vegetable broth in a pot for just short time to simmer. We throw everything in. You let it sit in the pot for about 1 to 2 hours, just until the sweet potatoes are soft, and then you're ready. So it's so simple. It's kind of like the one pot meal, but I love how it's so few ingredients. So that's my first recipe. My second recipe was inspired 2 years ago when my husband and I went to the CrossFit Games. We are CrossFit enthusiast, and we went to the games and we ate at this food truck, and it changed our life. We ate this bowl, and it was ridiculous, and it's so simple. All it is diced kale, shredded carrots, shredded beets. So we're a family that constantly keeps kale and different greens on hand. I highly suggest keeping greens on hand on a regular basis, or have a tower garden because they're wonderful. I'm about to harvest our first fall harvest off of our tower. We also keep beets on hand and potatoes on hand. You can use potatoes in this dish. We like to use potatoes. We also do cooked quinoa. Again, we buy our quinoa in bulk and we keep it in a big glass jar in the pantry. And then you can do a meat or a protein if you want. So you can do a ground bison is what I suggest. Or you can do just a cooked tofu. We also keep tofu on hand on a regular basis. This is actually marinated tofu. And then to top off the dish, we have a chipotle pecan pesto. I actually found this pesto when I started our plant journey 5 years ago. My husband and I, we lived in Austin, Texas, and we found this awesome place that made this pesto. I finally found the recipe, and I use it in this dish, and it's amazing. And then we top it off with avocado. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is that because we are really busy, for those of you that are curious about those meal delivery companies, this actually marinated tofu comes from a company called Green Chef. My husband and I, we actually have decided that we get 3 Green Chef meals a week, and we've been doing this now for about 5 weeks, and I have yet to have a meal that is not amazing. I mean, it literally is chef-worthy meals that you would get at a restaurant. Way cheaper than a restaurant, and we're guaranteeing that we're getting some good meals and some new recipes, which is so fun, right? So that's all I have to share, and then Jamie is going to round us out with some awesome stuff. And one little quick fun thing I want to share about Jamie. So Jamie and I virtually met around 4.5, 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago, and I laugh to this day because you guys know that one friend that you weirdly make this connection, and it's kind of creepy if you think about it, but it's been the best thing ever. Well, that is how Jamie and I met. We met because we had one random person that was mutual in the CrossFit world, and this person also had a mutual love for nutrition, and she just reached out to me and said, "Hey, I think you know this person, and then you used to play soccer," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, can we be best friends?" So Jamie is going to finish us off with a couple of recipes.
Yay, that's so funny. I love that story. Yeah, so you never know when it comes to food and fitness who your best friends are going to be. And one thing about Casey's recipe, if you're maybe doing something a little bit more paleo where they say no beans, my husband a long time ago when we first started dating, he never liked beans anyway, but so he would substitute green beans, which I thought was completely weird. But it actually works. So give it a try if you're trying to make that chili and maybe you're trying to avoid some of those beans. So my 2 recipes I'm going to share with you guys. One is a butternut squash and ground beef soup. Obviously you could do without the protein if you didn't want to. Our family, big into fitness, CrossFit, so we like to have as much protein as we can possibly get. You could also probably use a ground bison, which would be delicious. And then the second recipe is a coffee braised pot roast. So I'm going to start with the soup and then I'll get into the pot roast. So for the butternut squash soup, honestly, my sister just texted me this recipe a couple weeks ago. She and I are both kind of doing a clean eating challenge right now. And so I just modified it by adding the protein, which she didn't have in the first place. So really, I just diced up some butternut squash and some apples. So 2 apples, and I just put them on a big tray, and then I just roasted them in my oven for 25 minutes, and I give you all that information in the recipe. So then while that's doing its thing, I brown up my meat and add a little bit of onion to it, and so you're going to use a whole yellow onion, and then you're going to let that soften. And then separately you're going to start making batches, and I use the Vitamix for this. So just what you could use a blender. I use just the Vitamix because it really thoroughly mixes everything together. I know some people use the Blendtec, but I'm a fan. I use this thing pretty much every single day. That's been that game changer for our family. So in the Vitamix, in batches, you're going to put some beef broth or some vegetable broth, and so you could use those brands the ladies already shared. And then you're going to add the roasted squash and apples, and then you're going to add a little bit of yellow curry to it and a can of coconut milk. And so I kind of just portioned it out what I thought was okay to blend it all up, because what you're going to do is once it's all blended in batches is you're just going to pour it into a bigger pot and you're just going to put it to warm, you know. So as your meat gets done and as these things are all blended together, then you're just going to pour it and then heat it to your desired temperature and then serve it. And so that was a huge hit with my kids, and it's a really great fall recipe. And then the second one, I actually, again, I'm not somebody who whips stuff together. I am a big fan of bloggers like the ladies you guys we have on tonight. So Stephanie Gandro is the author of Stupid Easy Paleo, and so this is a slow cooker mocha rubbed pot roast is what it's called. And so the thing I like about this recipe is that you're going to use your crock pot, you know, your slow cooker, and I'm a huge fan of that because you can prep it early and just let it do its thing all day long while you're busy being whatever it is that you do. But you're going to take, let's see, let me get to the recipe part of it. You're going to put the rub together. You're just going to rub it on that meat. And so after that's done, you'll have a liquid base of beef broth. And then what else do we have here? The mocha rub mixture that will be rubbed all over. You're going to take you're going to take a cup of coffee, the beef broth, and this mix that you've put together, again, in your blender, whatever it is that you use. And you pour that on the bottom of the crock pot. So basically you've got this liquid base on the bottom, you've got this rubbed roast, and you just leave it in there. And so you can finish it off, you know, with whatever you guys want. Another vegetable side, I'm a huge fan of Brussels sprouts. You could also do some sweet potatoes, anything like that, whatever your family would enjoy. The meat piece is what always is, you know, the biggest part for our family. So I'm always trying to figure out like what's going to be a huge family favorite. So those are my two, and I will post all of that on the Facebook page. And so now you guys have, or when you get into this Facebook event, you're going to have 10 recipes. So I'm going to screen share with you because many of us participate in what's called the 10-day shred. And really what the 10-day shred is, you guys, is just an easy jumpstart to healthier eating, cleaner eating, healthier living. And it's been a huge just movement that people are participating in. So let me share my desktop. And if you guys if you can see it here on the top, if you go to 10dayshred.info, this page is going to pop up and it's going to tell you a little bit more. You're going to meet my friend Jake Kelly. And then there are resources when you choose to do the shred that we give you too. So you get a Healthy Living Rules cookbook. It's a free ebook when you sign up to do it. And there's even more recipes than what we already have given you in the 10-day shred. So the thing that ties us all together too is that we've locked arms on this mission of inspiring healthier living, and we all recommend a product as a foundation because we know that we need to be eating 7 to 13 servings of fresh raw fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. So not just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I promise you that as clean as most of us eat on this video tonight, that we still struggle to get that quantity and the quality sometimes, to be honest with you. I live in the Midwest, so these things aren't always available to me in season. And so you know, I try to eat what's right for the season as well. And so we all bridge the gap with a nutritional product. It's a company that we've locked arms with that found a way to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. So again, whoever invited you onto this event tonight, please get with them because they can give you more information about that too. So I'm going to turn it over to Case.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. That's awesome. And you know, I've personally have been doing the shred off and on since I was 2 months postpartum. And I have to say, so this is my second child, and I did a couple of different programs with my first child, and I am fitting into pants and my favorite jeans actually right now. I'm fitting into them right now, and I didn't fit into them this soon with my last child. So goes to show, just working the right program, right? So we so appreciate you guys taking your time to be with us tonight. You know, we really just have a heart to inspire healthy living around the world and giving you guys resources. Oh, one thing I wanted to add, and I forgot to share, I don't know, Jamie, if you shared, but each of these ladies have some awesome blogs. I don't have a blog, but I have an Instagram account that I'm constantly putting recipes out. That's all that my Instagram is about food and a little bit of inspiring fitness. But my Instagram is Tiny Plant Beast. So if you guys follow me on there, you'll find more recipes. But Following this event, we are going to post all of our recipes. We're going to share the recording. So if you guys have any questions for these wonderful ladies about any of their recipes, any other recommendations, please feel free to utilize our event page. And if you're not added to the event page yet, just make sure you get with the person that invited you. But we appreciate your time. We hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you again soon.